Morning students, how are you all? I hope you all are safe at your home. So this video is for the students of class 9, subject science, chapter number 4, that is structure of an atom. This is your lecture number 4. So today topics to be discussed in this lecture number 4 are calculation of valency, means how to find the valency of a given element. After that, I shall take what is atomic number and what is mass number. And lastly, what are isotopes and isobars. So these are the several topics which we would be discussing today. So let's start. Students, yesterday we were discussing about valency, and I discussed what is an octet. When the outermost shell, it possesses 8 electrons, it is said to possess octet. Okay, if there are 8 electrons present in the outermost shell, it means the octet is complete. But there are some atoms where the octet is not complete. So in that case, in order to achieve octet in the outermost shell, an atom reacts. That is done by sharing, gaining or losing of electrons. Okay, in order to achieve octet, the atom either it will gain the electron or share or lose the electron. Why? Because we need to complete the octet. If the octet is complete, the atom will be stable. So, the number of electrons gained, lost or shared so as to achieve octet of electrons in the outermost shell, it gives us the combining capacity of an element, which is called as valency. Okay, the number of electrons which are shared, gained or lost, whatever, that will give the valency. So, now let us take few examples in order to calculate valency. Means how to find valency of a given element. You know that in the first shell, how many electrons can be filled? That is given by 2n square. So, only 2 electrons can be filled in the first shell. In the second shell, how many electrons can be filled? Calculate by 2n square rule. 8 electrons. Okay, in second shell, 8 electrons can be filled. So keep this thing in mind. 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 electrons in the second shell. Now let us take example. First example is lithium. What is the atomic number of lithium? The atomic number is 3. So now let's start filling the electrons in the shells. In the first shell, how many electrons can be filled? 2. So 1, 2. And in the second shell, how many electrons can be filled? 8. So 2 electrons in the first shell, and how many electrons you need to fill now? Only 1. So 1 electron in the second shell. So what is the electronic configuration? Electronic configuration is 2, because 2 electrons in the first shell, comma, how many electrons in the second shell? 1. So 2, 1. This is the electronic configuration. Let us take second case also. 4. Atomic number is 4 of beryllium. So let's start filling the electrons. 2 electrons in the first shell. And how many electrons are left now? 2, and to make 4, how many electrons are left? 2. So 2 electrons in the second shell. So write down the electronic configuration. 2 in the first shell, comma 2 in the second shell. Let us take another example. Boron. What is the atomic number of boron? It is 5. So let's start filling the electrons. 2 electrons in the first shell. And how many are remaining? 3. 3 electrons in the second shell. So the total gives 5. So write down the electronic configuration 2, 3. Okay. So now you are clear how to fill the electrons and how to write down the electronic configuration. Now next comes valency. How to calculate the valency? See students, in the outermost shell, how many electrons are present in the first case? Only 1 electron is present. And we need to complete its octet. Means we need to make this 8. So how can we make this 8? Either it will gain 7 electrons or it will lose this 1 electron, because the outermost shell doublet configuration will be achieved. That is the first shell. I told you right now, in the first shell it should be doublet and in the second shell it should be octet, means 8. So we need to make this outermost shell as 8. So how can we make? Either it will gain 7 electrons to achieve 8 configuration, or it will lose this 1 electron to achieve this doublet configuration, means stable configuration. So which one is easy? Gaining 7 electrons or losing 1 electron? Losing 1 electron is easy. So it will lose this electron. Okay. So it loses this 1 electron. And the stable configuration is achieved, that is doublet configuration. So what is the valency? How many electrons did it lose? 1. And it lose or gain? It lose. So what will be the charge? Plus or minus? It has lose. So the charge will be plus. Okay. If electron is loose, sign will be plus, and if it gains, sign will be negative. Keep this thing in mind. If electrons are loose, sign will be plus. If electrons are gained, sign will be minus. So 1 electron is being loosened. So what is the sign? Plus. So valency is 1 and charge is plus. Okay. So lithium is written as Li1 positive, or we can say Li positive. So it is what? Cation or anion? It is cation. Positively charged species. You learnt in the previous chapter, na? Cation are positively charged, anions are negatively charged. Let us take another example. Beryllium. You have written down the electronic configuration. Now the outermost shell we need to make 8. So how it can be achieved? Either it will gain 6 electron or it will lose these 2 electrons to achieve octet configuration. So which one is easy out of these two? Losing 2 electrons is easy. So 2 electrons are lost. So what is the valency? 2. And what is the charge? It is losing. So charge will be plus. So beryllium is written as Be2 positive. Okay. Coming to next example, boron. Electronic configuration is 2, 3. So now see, we need to make this outermost shell as octet, means 8. So it will either gain 5 electrons or it will lose 3 electrons. Which one is easy? Gaining 5 electrons or losing 3 electrons? Losing 3 electrons is easy. So 3 electrons are lost. So what is the valency? 3. And what is the charge? It is losing. Charge will be plus. Clear, students? And one more thing, we write the charge in front. Okay? We do not write it back. In this case also, charge is written in front. Let us take one more example, carbon. Atomic number is 6. Let's start filling the electrons. 2 electrons in the first shell. And how many electrons are left now? 4. So 4 electrons in the second shell. So write down the electronic configuration. 2, 4. Total gives 6. Yes. Now calculate the valency. To make this 8 outermost shell, what can be done? Either gain 4 electrons or lose 4 electrons. Now the competition is equal. It can gain and it can lose both because equal are there, 4, 4. So what is the valency? Valency is 4. And what is the charge? It can be plus and it can be minus also. Clear, students? Coming to nitrogen, atomic number 7. Write down the electronic configuration. 2 electrons in the first shell. Now how many electrons are left? 5. 5 electrons in the second shell. 3, 4, 5. So 2 plus 5, 7. Electronic configuration written. Now calculate the valency. To make this 8, what can be done? Either it can gain 3 electrons or it can lose these 5 electrons. So what is easy? Gaining or losing? Gaining 3 electrons is easy. So this time it will gain 3 electrons. So what is the valency? How many electrons are they gaining? It is 3. In this case, they were losing 4. So valency 4. In this case, it is gaining 3. So valency 3. And gaining, sign will be negative. Okay. Valency is written just the number. And charge is including this plus or minus whatever it is. Okay. Taking another example, neon. Atomic number 10. 2 electrons in the first shell. 8 electrons in the second shell. We can fill 8 electrons now by 2n square rule. So 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 electrons in the second shell. So total gives 10. Okay. Now calculate the valency, beta. Outermost shell we need to make 8. It is already 8. So what is valency? It is not gaining, it is not losing. So valency is 0, no charge. Okay, this atom is stable because the outermost shell is already octet, already stable, already complete. Okay, valency is 0. Coming to hydrogen, what is the atomic number? 1. So 1 electron in the one shell. So write down the electronic configuration 1. This is the first shell now. First shell. In first shell how many electrons can be hold? 2 electrons can be hold. So what can be done to achieve this stable configuration? Either it can gain 1 electron to make this 2, to make this stable, doublet, or it can lose this 1 electron. Only the nucleus will be there. That is also stable. Okay. So both the cases exist. It can gain 1 electron. It can lose 1 electron. 1, 1. Same. So valency is 1. That's why we write hydrogen H positive, hydrogen negative. It is losing 1 electron. It is gaining 1 electron. So valency is 1 and charge can be plus 1 or minus 1. Okay, plus 1 why? Because it is losing this 1 electron to complete this, to achieve this only nucleus. And why minus 1? Because it is gaining one electron to achieve this doublet configuration, means stable configuration. Because first shell it is doublet. Take another example, helium. What is the atomic number? 2. So start filling 2 electrons in the first shell. So write down the electronic configuration, 2 electrons in the first shell. Now in the first shell, how many electrons can be held? 2. In the first shell, only 2 electrons can be held. So the octet is complete. Octet means the configuration, doublet. The doublet configuration is complete. So the valency is 0. Okay, helium is stable because it has 2 electrons. It is stable already. Clear? Next example is sodium. What is the atomic number of sodium? 11. Start filling the electrons. 2 electrons in the first shell. Then 8 electrons in the second shell. So 2 plus 8, 10. Now we are left with 1 electron. That 1 electron, it will go in the third shell. Okay, because the second shell octet is complete. We cannot fill more electrons now. So the next electron will go in next third shell. So 2, 8, 1 total gives 11. So electrons filled, electronic configuration written. Now what is the valency? The outermost shell we need to make 8. So either it will gain 7 electrons or it will lose 1 electron. So which one is easy? Losing 1 electron. So valency is 1. And what is the charge? It is losing. So charge is plus 1. Clear, students? Another example, aluminium. What is the atomic number of aluminium? 13. Start filling the electrons. 2 electrons in the first shell. Then 8 electrons in the second shell. So 2 plus 8, 10. Now we are left with 3 electrons. So 3 electrons in the next shell. So 2 plus 8 plus 3, that is 13. So we are filled. Now calculate the valency. We need to make this 8. So either it will gain 5 electrons or it will lose 3 electrons. So which one is easy? Losing 3 electrons. So the valency is 3. And what is the charge? It is losing, means plus. That's why aluminium is written as Al3 positive. Clear? And sodium is written as Na positive. Another example, chlorine. Atomic number is 17. Start filling the electrons. 2 electrons in the first shell. 8 electrons in the second shell. Then, how many are left? 2 plus 8, 10. 7 are left. So, 7 electrons in the third shell. So, electrons filled. Now, what is the valency? We need to make this 8. So, either it will gain 1 electron or it will lose 7 electron. Which one is easy? Gaining 1 electron or losing 7 electron? Gaining 1 electron is easy. So it will gain 1 electron. So valency is 1 because it is gaining 1. So what is the charge? It is gaining minus. So that's why chlorine is written as Cl negative. This is cation and this is anion. Clear, students? So take various examples and start practicing today. Okay? Just keep one thing in mind. Valency is always number and charge includes plus or minus. Okay? If it is losing electron, sign will be plus. If it is gaining electron, sign will be minus. Okay? The first shell should be doublet and the second shell should be octet. Now students, moving ahead to our next topic, that is atomic number and mass number. Okay, the other name given to mass number is atomic mass. Okay, remember one thing. This is atomic number, this is mass number or atomic mass. So what is atomic number? Atomic number is basically number of protons of an atom. Okay, it is equal to number of protons. If there are 2 protons, atomic number is 2. If there are 3 protons, atomic number is 3. And what is mass number? It is the sum of masses of proton and neutrons present in the nucleus. I told you na, inside the nucleus protons and neutrons are present. So what is mass number? Sum of proton plus neutrons inside the nucleus of an atom. So atomic number is P, proton. Mass number is P plus N, proton plus neutron. And there is one term given collectively to these, that is nucleons. What are nucleons? Protons plus neutron is called as nucleon. Clear? So next topic is how to represent any element. Okay, suppose I take any element X. The symbol is X. Okay, and on left hand side, on the uppermost part, mass number is written. Mass number, it is represented by capital A. And below, atomic number is written, which is represented by capital Z. Okay, mass number by A, atomic number by Z. So this is the way to write any element. Suppose I take the example of calcium. What is the symbol of calcium? Ca. What was the atomic number of calcium? 20. So 20 is written below. That is the atomic number. And what is the mass number of calcium? 40. And 40 is written above. Okay. And keep one thing in mind. Both the things, they are written on left hand side. Okay. Mass number, atomic number, symbol. Clear students? This is how to represent any element. Now this 40, this is mass number. What is mass number? Proton plus neutron. That is 40. And what is 20? 20 is atomic number. Atomic numbers is number of proton. So proton plus neutron is 40 and proton is 20. Now you can calculate what is neutron. It will be 20. How? Proton plus neutron is 40. You know proton, that is 20. So 20 plus neutron is 40. So neutron will be 40 minus 20. That will be 20. So number of neutrons you have got by subtracting atomic number from mass number. Okay. Mass number minus atomic number, you will get number of neutrons. So you can write down the formula. Number of neutrons is equal to mass number minus atomic number. Mass number is represented by capital A, atomic number is represented by capital Z. So let us take the same example. 40 is mass number. What is mass number? Proton plus neutron. And what is 20? 20 is atomic number. Atomic number means number of protons. So you can calculate the neutrons. 20 plus n is equal to 40. So n will be 40 minus 20. N is 20. That is mass number minus atomic number. 40 minus 20, 20. Simply. Clear students? Now you can calculate easily the number of neutrons if you know the mass number and atomic number. Your next topic is isotopes. What do you mean by isotope? Isotopes are the atoms of same element having same atomic number but different mass number. Okay, if element are same, it is obvious that atomic number will also be the same, but the mass number will be different. That is isotope. Example, hydrogen. Hydrogen, it occurs in 3 isotopes. Protium, deuterium, tritium. See here, this is what? Which is written below? 1, 1, 1. They all are atomic number. Atomic number is same. Why? Because element is same, that is hydrogen. And the mass number is different, that is 1, 2, 3. So that is why these all are isotopes of hydrogen. Same atomic number, different mass number. This is one of the example. Second example is carbon. Carbon exists in 2 isotopes. Atomic number 6 and mass number 12 and mass number 14. Okay. You remember one thing? In atomic mass unit, I said that it is equal to 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12 isotope. So which isotope of carbon? Which has 12 mass. Clear? Which has 12 mass. So this one was considered in atomic mass unit. So these are the 2 isotopes of carbon. Same atomic number, different mass number. Chlorine. Chlorine also exists in 2 isotopes. 1735, 1737. 35 and 37 different mass number. Okay. So you have to learn the examples. And remember one thing. Each isotope, it is a pure substance. Okay. Every isotope is a pure substance. And they have similar chemical properties but different physical properties. Chemical properties are same but physical properties are different in isotopes. Now students, you have seen that they have different mass number. Suppose I take chlorine. Chlorine has 35 and 37 mass number. So in calculation, which mass number we should consider? We should consider the average atomic mass. Now the question arises, how to calculate this average atomic mass? Average atomic mass is equal to atomic mass of isotope 1 into its percentage in nature plus atomic mass of isotope 2 into its percentage in nature. Okay, suppose I take chlorine. What is the atomic mass? 17. So, isotope 1 atomic mass is 17. Isotope 2 atomic mass is 17. And the percentage of these two, it will be given in the question. So, you can substitute the values and calculate the average atomic mass. Clear, students? What are the application of isotopes? There are various application of isotope. An isotope of uranium. Uranium is represented as capital U. It is used as a fuel in nuclear reactor. Okay. Again, an isotope of cobalt, CO. It is used in the treatment of cancer. And an isotope of iodine. It is used in the treatment of goiter. So these are the applications of some of the isotopes you need to learn. Clear, students? Now coming to the last topic of this chapter, that is isobars. What are isobars? These are the atoms of different elements having different atomic number but same mass number. If element is different, so it is obvious the atomic number will also be different, but the mass number is same. Okay, it is opposite of isotopes. Example, calcium and argon. They are different elements, so they have different atomic number. Atomic number of calcium is 20, atomic number of argon is 18. But the mass number is same, that is 40-40. So these are isobars. Clear? Different atomic number, same mass number is isobar. And same atomic number, different mass number, they are isotopes. Clear, students? So the chapter ends here. I hope you all are clear with every topic of this chapter. So what is your homework? You will solve question number 1 of column 1, question number 1 and 2 of column 2 given on page number 52, question number 1 and 2 given on page number 53, and exercise question number 7 to question number 19. You will do all these questions today in your notebook. Some of them, they are MCQs, so you do those questions in book itself. Clear, students? Now, I would be taking the homework solutions of lecture number 3. Question number 1 was, name 3 subatomic particles of an atom. So, it is electron, proton and neutron. Question number 2. Helium atom has atomic mass 4U, protons 2 in the nucleus. Calculate number of neutrons. You know that atomic mass, that is equal to protons plus neutron. So 4 is equal to proton is 2, neutron n. So calculate neutron, 4 minus 2, 2. So 2 neutrons are present. Next question, write down the distribution of electrons in carbon and sodium atom. Carbon C, sodium Na. What is the atomic number of carbon? 6. And what is the atomic number of sodium? 11. So you have to write down the distribution of electrons. So in the first shell 2, second shell 4, total give 6. In sodium, first shell 2, second can accommodate 8, total gives 10. So 1 is left, in the third shell it will be 1. Okay, so the second shell can accommodate 8 electrons of maximum. Okay, so the first 1 electron will go in the third shell. The rest questions, they were direct questions. So that's it for today's lecture. Thank you.